Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the A segment of episode 4 of Codename Kids Next Door, Operation Pirate. We begin this segment with number 5 looking through the storage room of the treehouse. While she's doing so, we also see a giant pirate boat known as the Sweet Revenge sailing the streets of the suburbs. Eventually, number 5 finds a treasure chest within the storage room, and she brings the treasure chest into the room that the rest of her teammates are currently in. They're playing a video game right now. The treasure chest is revealed to contain number 5's special stash of candy, and number 5's teammates are very grateful that number 5 is sharing it with them right now. They question what the occasion is, but number 5 says that there's no occasion. Suddenly, the Sweet Revenge arrives at the treehouse, and the pirate crew of the vessel invade the treehouse. Number 5 is able to hide her special stash of candy in a nearby closet before any of the pirates can see it, and the Sector V operatives proceed to battle the invading pirates. Unfortunately, the pirates do manage to gain the upper hand, and they trap the Sector V operatives. Two of the pirates, Chewie and Gooey, inform the pirate captain, who's shown to have a candy cane hook hand, a candy cane peg leg, and a beard full of candy, that the Sector V operatives have been defeated. The pirate captain compliments the Sector V operatives for the fight they put up, but he says that they were still no match for his pirate crew, and the pirate captain is revealed to be Stickybeard, voiced by Mark Hamill. Stickybeard is also impressed by how number 5 has a sweet tooth as strong as his own, because she insists that he can take anything from the treehouse except the candy. But Stickybeard is still adamant about taking the treehouse's candy supply from the Sector V operatives, so the pirate crew proceed to steal the candy. And as far as they know, they've taken all of the candy. They don't know about number 5's special stash of candy. Unfortunately, though, the closet door to the closet that number 5 hid her special stash of candy in opens up, so Stickybeard now sees the treasure chest, and he intends to take it, as well as the rest of the candy supply. Seeing this causes number 5 to break free from the hold of the pirate crew members that are trapping her and her teammates, and number 5 grabs hold of the treasure chest, refusing to allow Stickybeard to take the treasure chest. Stickybeard decides that number 5 will be a hostage then, and he warns the rest of the Sector V operatives not to follow because number 5 is a hostage now. So the Sweet Revenge takes its leave, and the rest of the Sector V members are left wondering what they should do now that number 5 is a hostage. On the Sweet Revenge, we see Chewie and Gooey tie number 5 up to the mast of the Sweet Revenge with licorice rope. When the pirates are no longer paying attention, number 5 eats through the licorice rope, and she searches the deck of the Sweet Revenge and does find her special stash of candy on the deck. And Stickybeard, though, notices that number 5 is no longer tied up, and the pirate crew do intend to confront number 5. Despite her best efforts, number 5 is not able to escape the Sweet Revenge with her special stash of candy, and Stickybeard tosses the treasure chest into the lower deck of the Sweet Revenge, where the rest of the candy supply is also stored. Once again, Stickybeard is impressed that number 5 has a love of candy as strong as his own, So he actually offers number 5 the chance to become his first mate, as saying that she'll take over the Sweet Revenge and all of the candy supply that it holds once his teeth have fallen out if she accepts his offer. Number 5 is tempted by the offer, but when she thinks about her teammates and her friends, she decides to reject Stickybeard's offer. This leads to Stickybeard deciding to have number 5 walk the plank, but number 5 is saved from falling by her teammates and friends who have come to help her out. We see that the treehouse has been detached from the tree part, and the treehouse has also been modified into a means of transportation that can fly. So the Sector V operatives battle the candy pirates once again. Number 2 in particular is fighting Chewie and Gooey for control over the steering wheel of the Sweet Revenge. So we see the Sweet Revenge is moving around in a chaotic manner because of the individuals fighting for control over the Sweet Revenge. During the battle, number 5 enters the lower deck of the Sweet Revenge and successfully finds her special stash of candy. But Stickybeard also goes to the lower deck as well. So number 5 and Stickybeard battle each other using candy cane swords. Eventually, due to number 2 and Chewie and Gooey fighting over the steering wheel, the Sweet Revenge crashes into a nearby building, which breaks a hole in the pirate boat, which causes the candy stored inside to fall out, or to spill out. And this large amount of candy catches the attention of kids on a nearby playground, or they're playing on a nearby playground. So these kids rush to the candy, and the kids' arrival is what stops Stickybeard and his pirate crew for this particular segment. Number 5 assures her teammates that she's all right, everything is fine now, and the segment ends with Stickybeard, Chewie, and Gooey on a rowboat called the Bittersweet, and they're on the rowboat on the streets of the suburbs. So this segment is not only a spotlight appearance for number 5, but it's also the introduction of a villain who goes on to become a major member of the show, of the Kids Next Door's Rogues Gallery, Stickybeard. And Stickybeard was actually one of the villains that was promoted before the show formally premiered. More specifically, I believe I'd mentioned this before, but there was an online game called Operation Startup, if I'm not mistaken. And this game was released Cartoon Network put this game up on their website a few weeks before, a few weeks before the show formally premiered. And the different levels consisted of different missions where you each played a member of Sector V, and they would each have to complete a specific objective while also confronting a member of the Rogues Gallery. Eventually, it ended with a final boss battle with the Sector V operatives against the delightful children from down the lane. Now, as far as I'm aware of, the game is still on Cartoon Network's website, but the final boss battle with the delightful children is no longer available, at least to my knowledge. And that's a shame, because that final boss battle was pretty cool. I remember playing through that game in anticipation for the show's formal premiere. But I digress. The point I was trying to get at was Stickybeard was one of the villains that you confronted in one of these missions for Operation Startup. And Nightbrace, Grandma Stuff'em, and the Toylinator were also villains that you battled in the other levels of this game. And there is one more villain, but that villain hasn't appeared just yet. So we'll cover that villain eventually once they have their appearance in the show. But yeah, Stickybeard in particular was the villain for number 5's mission. And that really stood out to me because this actually lined up with the show itself. Because the other villains that we've seen, they didn't really have a personal animosity towards the, or they weren't necessarily an arch enemy to a specific member of the Sector V. Or yeah, they weren't necessarily an arch enemy to the Sector V operative that you played as in that particular level. But that's not the case here with number 5 and Stickybeard. Stickybeard actually is portrayed as an arch enemy for number 5, and that does hold true in the series itself. Stickybeard's appearances usually have him going against number 5, or usually number 5 is the spotlight character or the focus character when Stickybeard is the central villain. There is an exception or two, and we'll cross those bridges when we eventually get to them. But for the most part, like as a general rule, usually number 5 is the spotlight character when Stickybeard is the central villain of a particular segment. So that was pretty cool that Operation Startup could be seen as a way of hinting at how number 5 and Stickybeard kind of have a personal animosity or kind of like a personal rivalry with one another. And Stickybeard actually does, in his future appearances, he does view number 5 as a worthy opponent. Like, we do see it in this segment. Stickybeard was impressed by how number 5's love for Candy is as strong as his own, and he did even offered her the chance to join him on his pirate crew. And we do still see that in later appearances. Stickybeard does view number 5 as a worthy opponent, and sometimes they may even come off as friendly enemies. Like, sometimes they are able to kind of put aside their differences. So once again, that's actually a pretty cool touch how Operation Startup actually hinted at Stickybeard and number 5's rivalry or status as arch enemies with one another. And as for Stickybeard himself, yeah, I think he's a pretty fun, or yeah, I think he's a pretty entertaining villain in the show. And Mark Hamill does a good job voicing the character. And he does stand out to me, again, because he can sometimes act as a friendly enemy to number 5, but he also views number 5 as a worthy opponent. So he does stand out a bit in some ways, as far as members of the Rogues Gallery go in some ways. Oh, and also I should mention, yeah, number 5 kind of being the candy expert for the Sector V operatives. This actually does extend in other appearances besides Stickybeard related appearances. There are several segments and episodes where number 5 is the main focus, but Stickybeard isn't in these appearances, but number 5 has major appearances that revolve around Candy. And number 5 actually does have another arch enemy who also has a strong affinity for Candy besides Stickybeard. We will be introduced to that villain eventually, and yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we eventually get to it. But yeah, this segment was not just a good introduction for one of number 5's arch enemies. I guess you could argue she has 3 of them, but it also lays out the foundation for number 5's status as the Sector V member who has the strongest affinity for Candy, even though they all like Candy, but number 5 is kind of seen as the member of Sector V who has the strongest affinity for Candy. And yeah, I guess as another little detail, we do actually see the treehouse detached from the tree part of the treehouse. And I guess that's funny because this is the time when it was actually willingly detached from the tree, because at least off the top of my head, there's 2 other instances where the treehouse is detached from the tree, but let's just say Numbuh is not happy about those particular incidences. We'll cross those bridges when we eventually get to them, but yeah, that kind of was amusing to me that this time the treehouse was willingly detached from the tree, but yeah, Numbuh not going to be happy the other times it's detached from the tree. So we'll get to that eventually. But overall, yeah. So I thought this was a good spotlight appearance for number 5. It does help to set up not only her affinity for candy, but it also introduces us to one of the villains that you could say are one of her archenemies. And like I said, I think Stickybeard is a pretty entertaining villain, and he does go on to play a fairly major role in future appearances, or he does get a fair amount of appearances where he's the central villain of those particular appearances. So, I'd say that's about it for now. So, there we go. As of this video, we've now discussed the A segment of episode 4 of Codename Kids Next Door on this channel. Take care, and until next time.